Hello, everybody. It's Chastity White Rose here, and I have been thinking about doing another live stream. I was going to do something about a different topic, but something just came up. So, a while back, I had set up a page where I share my writing and stuff. My page, Chastity White Rose, as I call it, since Facebook doesn't let me use my preferred name on my actual profile. But I don't get feedback on there very often. And so when I do, I think I'm gonna share it on some of my live streams. So that's what I'm thinking is when I get feedback on my page or other important places, I can respond to it in my video podcasts. I want to make use of StreamYard since I'm learning how to use it. So today the topic is that vegan teacher. Is she racist or transphobic? Because many people have accused her of such a thing. And I got this message. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what this person sent me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share my whole screen here to keep this simple. So I'm going to show you, let's see, let's go to full screen here. I'm going to switch to this tab. So here is my post where I said, while this page is usually about sharing my writing, I am listening to this video of David Rams talking to that vegan teacher. That vegan teacher inspires me greatly because of how she will not hesitate to be personal and weird in order to get a message across. I'll never be as awesome as her, but I do mention veganism frequently in my books, and it is a great hindrance in relating to people in society because it's not socially acceptable to really care about the animals as we do. A big thank you to David Rams for having her on. I would like to do my own video with her if she agrees to it. So that's what I said, and I posted the link to the interview on YouTube with David Rams. He's a famous vegan YouTuber, and everyone knows who that vegan teacher is. If you don't know who she is, you've been living under a rock, because even I know who she is, because there's so many people criticizing her, saying she's an evil person because she feeds her dog a vegan diet, and they have accused her of being racist and anti-gay or transphobic before. So here we have this person commenting on this post. And they say, "Hi, Chastity. I have some SS up for using the N-word and being transphobic." And I believe SS means screenshots here. If you would like me to send you screenshots, message me. She also goes by the name Katie Karen. Yeah, and I said, feel free to send me anything you have. I call people out when they are wrong. However, just because someone is wrong about some things doesn't mean they are wrong about all things. They said that's not the point. She's toxic to the vegan movement with her racism and transphobia. Now, I have listened to her videos and that whole long interview with David Rams, and not once have I ever actually heard her say anything that's racist or against gay or trans people or anything. But this person did in fact send me screenshots. So let me see that. I need to see the messages. Because I know that she actually did send me messages. So let's see what messages she sent me. Okay, because I get notifications on the pages I manage here. So I just don't know how to access the messages of the page very well. Let's see here. Yeah, how do I? Yeah, this is weird. Facebook is hard to figure out because I know that. Okay, yeah, let's see all Messenger. How do I view the messages that I saw them earlier, but how do I get to the messages on my actual page? Yeah, I don't even know how to use Facebook here. Okay, this is. I should have prepared beforehand for this. Okay, so let's just go to my page again here, and let's see here. And how do I? Yeah, there must be some way. Yeah, where's the messaging part? Oh, in inbox. explore new comment. This might be it. Okay, so let's see what this person sent me. That Katie Karen, that vegan teacher is racist. I'm just going to read the screenshots here. Let's see if I can view these bigger here. Okay, so Jeanette Hardwick, you wrote, I'm guessing that there are words that are already censored because they hurt others. The N word, the C word. I don't see you trying to reclaim them. Here's my response. Oh, so Katie was quoting someone else there. Okay. Can I even make this bigger? Like, this is hard to read. Okay, yeah, let's make this bigger so this is readable. Okay, here's my response. 1, you mean the words nigger and cunt? Are those the words you think I am not reclaiming? If so, you don't know me well enough yet. I have no problem using any words at the appropriate time. I believe in reclaiming all words that were stolen by cruel, abusive individuals. I do not, however, see those two words as the same. Okay, 2, the word cunt is an insult aimed specifically at a woman who has displeased another person. It's used similarly to how we say she's a bitch, an asshole. When someone is upset with another individual for a behavior. The word nigger was aimed for years by despicable racists as someone for not having done a single thing wrong. I would counsel every single dark-skinned person to teach their kids to stand in front of the mirror and say out loud with pride, I am proud to be a smart, beautiful, brave nigger. Get it out in the open and to oh, it's not showing everything there. I see. Oh yeah, it finishes here. Get out in the open and to reclaim it. Here, let me invent a hashtag for that. Proud to be a smart, beautiful, brave nigger. And here's another one. Reclaim the word nigger. Instead of using precious time to tell me not to use the perfectly okay words. All lives matter that are about peace and love. Please go on TikTok and start making anti-speciesist comments on my post for young people to see. There are kids there that want to be vegan, but I am unable to help them all when they ask questions about what I eat because I am here defending my name from slander from a community that should be my friends, but who instead are totally misguided and prefer to attack me personally. So I do believe that Katie did explain herself here, that first of all, the words cunt and nigger are not the same. They're different because one was used against black people just because they were black. The other is sort of an insult. Like, I mean, it's weird how, yeah, the cunt is used like people call people a bitch or an asshole, but then somehow when someone uses the word cunt, people act like it's a worse word than the other word somehow. And I mean, I'll admit I've called people an asshole before when they're really mean. I don't call anyone a cunt. That's not a word that I use. I don't know what its literal meaning is. I know what an asshole is. Obviously, we all have an asshole, and I prefer sex and gender neutral terms like asshole because everybody, no matter whether you're male or female, has an asshole. So I like that word. So anyway, let's see what else there is. Okay, so here's another screenshot. Okay, these are kind of blurry. Why are these so blurry? That's strange. Okay. Okay, what will the rules be about gay and trans people and things like circumcision of baby boys, etc.? Every decision will be based on sanity and health of the planet, the animals, and the oppressed. So no forced circumcision to anyone, not boys, not girls. All people are free to express themselves by wearing whatever they want. Ties, pink skirts, weird hats, scarves, but there will be no there will be no sex change surgeries because putting people on hormones for the rest of their lives is not sane or healthy. The idea is that in this kind of compassionate and loving society, there will be no need to chop off your breasts or penis because you will be 100% accepted the way you are. You are a man who wants a full beard and also to wear a pink tutu, go right ahead. You are a woman who wants to have a shaved head and whatever, go right ahead. But nobody wears heels or makeup or tattoos because they are completely silly, unnecessary, and ego-driven ideas, unless somebody wants to do their own tattoos on themselves. Nobody tattoos babies or animals. If you don't like the way you look, instead of paying a surgeon to fix your outward appearance, we will remove all mirrors from your sight. And if you don't like to look down and see a penis, we can make sure you wear a blindfold when you pee. In other words, we are all here to accept you and make sure you learn to love yourself too. No more me society. We don't need to travel and be smart and cultured. Nope. People do not need to travel to other places. That's just arrogant and elitist. Most people haven't even explored the vast and gigantic territory that is on their own continent, and they believe the lie that was fed to them. So this is a very blurry screenshot of something that Katie Karen Dykmeyer has said. So if anybody has a direct link to where the screenshot was taken, I would appreciate that so I can read the whole thing, because I would also like to comment myself. And now, actually, let me see here. In fact, yeah, let's see here. And I asked, okay, yeah, do you have the links to the post where these were screenshotted? She says, no, I don't. Okay, so, okay. I want to see if I can find, okay, because I refer to her as that vegan teacher, but if I can find her actual profile, if she is actually on, let's see here, Katie Karen. This could be the real, that vegan teacher. So, oh yeah, looks like her. Yes, absolutely. She has 23 mutual friends with me because all of us great vegans know each other. So I'm gonna friend Katie Karen, and I do hope that I can find that post is blurry because I could not read the entire thing. But so what I'm going to do now is I am going to end the screen share, and I'm going to discuss what my opinion is so far on that vegan teacher and respond to the screenshots that I just read. So let's see. I'm going to stop the screen share, and okay. Oh, we do have a comment. I don't know the full story of the accused in question, but I have witnessed virtuous signaling against people who are vegan by the PC types, and it has to stop. Some people will try anything, even blatant lies, in an attempt to discredit a vegan. This is so true. Yeah, in fact, I must show this this comment. This is my friend here. I agree. You know what? People, here's what I think. Vegans get a lot of criticism. They really do get a lot of criticism. And because vegans are pointing out that people are doing something wrong. They're murdering and torturing animals for no good reason, because we don't need to eat things that come from animal bodies. We don't need to eat animal flesh, and we don't need to wear fur or leather. You know, we don't need these things. And so veganism is simply realizing these things are unnecessary and it harms animals. And that's what veganism is. You know, we're avoiding it as far as possible and practical. You know, look up the vegan society. Look up the definition of veganism. You know, veganism is very simple. And yet, every time any vegan becomes famous enough, people like to either make false accusations against them, or they like to take something the person said, even if that, and what if it is true? Okay, here's what it comes down to. Now, I think it still remains to be seen whether or not that vegan teacher is racist or transphobic. I do not believe based on what I've seen of her content so far, and even the screenshots this person sent me, it does not convince me that she is racist or transphobic. I understood what she was saying in those screenshot posts. And as far as the post about, no sex change surgeries, I got the message of what she was trying to say is that people won't have a need for that sort of thing because people will just be accepted, so people won't be needing to have hormones and surgery to change their appearance of their body, just so that they can fit into a certain part of society better. I got what she was going at. I don't necessarily think that she's against the idea in principle of people having these surgeries. I mean, if it's what somebody really wants, and you know how I feel, I totally believe that people should be able to remove remove body parts that are causing them pain or otherwise injurious to them. So I had my testicles removed, so I know what I'm talking about here. I believe if that's what someone really wants, then yes, I believe that, orchiectomies, penectomies, mastectomies, and even gender reassignment surgery, I think these surgeries should be, of course, allowed and legal. Of course, I think people who want these surgeries should be able to get them. But I agree with the spirit of what I think Katie Karen was trying to say, that these aren't really as necessary if people can just accept people. And I do feel like that there's a certain part of it that people, well, there's two parts of it. When somebody is experiencing gender dysphoria, part of it is the internal struggle that they don't like how their body looks. They don't like how they look, and they wish to change their own body. And if they want to do that, that's great. If they have the means to have the surgery or hormones, I think they should be allowed to do that. At the same time, there's another side of gender dysphoria where people, they might, in certain circumstances, look, this is not a blanket statement. I'm just saying in certain circumstances, it might be easier in society if you can have hormones and surgery to make yourself appear to be the other sex than what you were born as, because you can be treated better. Take, for example, a specific case of a trans woman who happens to be attracted to men. It might be easier to be seen as a woman in society so that you can be married to a man or date men and be seen as straight, so you have that straight privilege, or the other way around. What if you were born female and you're a trans man? And it could be possible that somebody would have an easier time be transitioning from female to male and then being in a relationship with another female, so they're seen as straight. There is real privilege that comes with being perceived as cisgender and heterosexual. So for example, what I'm saying is, for example, Black people, there's nothing wrong with being Black, but I have a feeling that a lot of Black people would, if they could, they would change their skin to white just so that they wouldn't have as much racism against them. My audio is bad? Why is my audio bad? My mom did say that my mom did say that there was my microphone was loud. And the thing is, I haven't changed the microphone settings. So I really do hope that people can hear me. I mean, there's a slight echo in my apartment. I'm saying some important things. How do I'm gonna look at my settings here. How do I change my audio settings? Because it has automatically adjust mic volume is on. Weird. Okay, I don't want it to automatically do that. Right now it's in the middle. Okay, yeah, I just hope that I have right in the middle. I hope people can understand what I'm saying, because I'm saying some important stuff here. I was just about to say that some black people, because black people are treated bad sometimes, some black people would change their skin to be light skinned if they had the power to do that. Now, of course, there's no easy way to do that. But what I'm saying is that there are people who would change their skin color, who would change their height or their weight, or who would change their gender presentation. Just so that they're treated as better. Now, it comes with quite a mix. Let's see. Yeah, it just sounds poor quality, like you're in an empty room with an echo. Well, yeah, maybe that's just the way my apartment is. I'm not sure what's up with that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that I envision a world where people change themselves, but only to please themselves and not to please other people. And and now the grass often seems greener on the other side of the fence. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. And going off what I was just saying is, see, trans women, males who transition to female, on the one hand, they can sometimes be treated better because if they just look like a woman and nobody knows they're transgender, but then they also experience the sexism that cisgender women experience. So there's that downside. But the reverse is also true of the female to male transgender people who, they were born female, they take testosterone, and they're very successful. Trans men are very hard to detect because if they have surgery and have their breasts removed, and if they're on testosterone for 5 years and they have a mustache and beard from growing facial hair, you wouldn't know that they were born female. Like, you can't tell. So they have the advantage that they can just be seen as men and not be seen as trans men. So they have that advantage. But I have listened to many videos on YouTube of transgender people telling their experiences. And more than once, I have heard these stories of trans men, how they became, there was one story I remember particularly, this woman who transitioned to be a man, took testosterone and all that, and then was around other men, playing basketball with other men, and it was around men, and they didn't know that this person was transgender, but then found out what men are like, how men talk to each other when it's only men around. And that was a shock. They were very shocked by that idea. Now, I'm not shocked because since I was born male, I know what men are like. I've seen it in church. I've seen it in school, back in elementary school, what other boys were like in a way. I was even in the Navy. Trust me, I have heard the nastiest things, the most sexist and horrible things that men have said when it's locker room talk, basically. To quote Trump. But it's a weird thing, but people don't know what it's like to be treated by the other gender or the other sex until they've done transition with hormones and surgery. I think people should be allowed to do it, but I do think that society has gone too far. I'm transgender, and I definitely support trans people, and I think people should be able to have hormones or surgery if that's what they need to be happy in their life. But society has gone so far in a way that it's easier to have surgeries and change your body than it is to get your own friends and family members that to accept you for who you are and to not be weird to you. And it's very interesting. So I'm just saying, it's a very nuanced, complicated topic. Now, I do not think that vegan teacher is saying that these surgeries or hormones should be banned. I don't think she's saying that. And if she is saying that, well, then I simply disagree with her. But that doesn't mean that she is toxic and that she's bad for the vegan community or the vegan movement. Even if I disagree with her on the topic of transgender topics, or even if she did say something that people are misinterpreting as racist anyway, that doesn't mean that we aren't better for having her existing and sharing her vegan content. I'm sure there are people who have learned about veganism because of that vegan teacher, and so I don't think she's a bad influence. I think she's good. And she can be a person and have an opinion just like anybody else. That's what I think. Yeah, we have a comment here. Yeah. Miss Katie, that vegan teacher, she says a lot of controversial stuff and touches on a lot of sensitive, hot button issues while she's advocating for veganism. So she gets herself in trouble. Yeah, that seems to be the case. And thing is, I actually that has a mixed result, because on the one hand, people don't want to get too sidetracked into every other side issue, and take away the main thing about veganism they're trying to promote. But at the same time, it's difficult to have, it's difficult to be a vegan activist. It's difficult to talk about veganism without bringing up the other issues that are sometimes interrelated. For example, let's see. Okay, I tagged her above so you could have her respond to you directly and see what she says. Yeah, I would like that. I actually do want to have a discussion with that vegan teacher about this. Hey, I'll do a podcast with her. I'll do it with her if possible, definitely, if she's available at the same time as me. But the thing is, veganism changes your life in so many ways, because there are people who will turn against you for your simple decision to not harm animals and change your lifestyle. And it has implications. Like, it has implications for your religious belief, your romantic or sexual relationships. Like, veganism touches everything. It really does. Like, for example, let's say that you are you're straight and you won't date someone of the same sex as you. Or let's say that you're gay and you won't date someone of the opposite sex as you. Okay? But what if you are a vegan sexual or a vegan romantic? And what I mean by that is somebody who would only be in that type of relationship with another vegan. And there are many people who are that way. Like, they've chosen in their life to not harm animals. So they're not going to date or marry somebody who's a non-vegan. Now, there are some who do that. There are some who they go vegan, they're already married anyway, or they end up dating or marrying some carnist afterwards. But they think that they can change them, and they can't. And here's what it comes down to is, there are some core beliefs, there are some core things in life that are important. And they're going to cause an issue in relationships. Whether your relationships with a spouse, or whether your parents or your children or other friends that veganism touches absolutely everything in your life. And in a way, veganism is like a religion in the sense that it's so reaching. It touches everything in your life. It changes everything about the way you interact with people. It really does. Whereas by comparison, Christianity is not as influential or important in someone's life in general in American society. Like, people, they go to church, they call themselves a Christian. That's it. That's the extent of their religion. It has said that, and it means nothing about what they actually do, which is kind of weird, really, when you think about it, because Christianity in America, from what I've seen, has become all about believing a certain thing, believing in God or in Jesus in the right way so you don't go to hell. But it's been about belief and not action, whereas veganism is about action. I like veganism because it's about action. Yes. Yes, and Paul agrees. Veganism itself does touch and affect everything you personally, to you personally. Yes, I agree. We are totally agreed on that because it affects everything. It's changed everything about my life. Everything about the way I think has been changed since I went vegan in 2013. And it can be a good experience because it makes me think of difficult things. For me, it helps me grow as a person. But it has a downside in that it's a lot harder to make friends because people are turned off by veganism because they don't like someone telling them that they're doing something wrong. But I appreciated it when somebody told me that I was doing something wrong. That's how I learned about veganism. So I think it's a good thing, and I think people like that vegan teacher are just what this world needs. We have more comments I'm missing here. Um, no, I don't think so, Chas. I think you can keep veganism purely about the animals and about ethics while advocating and educating others. Yeah, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that that's one approach. People who stay purely focused on the animals, but then you need a different type of activist to discuss the issues, how veganism touches your life in all those various facets and ways. Because we need to be focused on the animals, absolutely, but we also need to be focused to a certain extent on, because we're still, at the end of the day, we're still people who have to live our own lives. We have to interact with other humans in this really messed up society. So there's nothing wrong with discussion about that. But each thing in its proper place. I guess all things in balance, as some would say. Okay, let's see. It's only non-vegans and carnists who love to bring other issues into the debate as a red herring. It does seem that way. I suppose there are some times where some vegans who still criticize other vegans, which is a really messed up thing to do. But a lot of the time, most of the criticism of vegan people comes from carnists. That's definitely the majority. Let's see here. Okay, I don't know what to say about the vegan teacher, Miss Katie, because I don't know her personally. However, it is true that there are certain words that are simply inappropriate to use, and cunt is inappropriate to use against women because it is an offensive word to use about them. It could even be offensive towards transgender people, depending on the context of the issue. Yes, the context is important. Now, here's the thing: is I think it's important to not to use words that you know are going to be offensive. If you just call somebody a word that you know is going to offend them, well then yeah, don't use that word, because then that distracts from the message you're trying to say. Definitely. But at the same time, not everybody reacts to the same words. Like, for example, I've seen black people call each other nigger all the time. They call each other nigger, and that it's just the way they talk. But that's between friends. That's an understanding they have. And there's probably somebody out there who likes being called a cunt. I don't suggest using that word against calling everybody a cunt. I also don't suggest calling everybody a tranny, but you can totally call me a tranny because I think the word tranny sounds cute. So I just think it's, think about it. Grandmother, granny. Transgender, tranny. You see how that works there? It's a shorter form of a long word. I like that. So don't call other people a tranny, but you can totally call me a tranny, and I like it. Let's see, and yeah, I have some comments from Quarter 92. I don't know who they are, but thanks for watching my live stream anyway. So yeah, anyway, where was I going with this? Okay, yes, I'm going to try to sum up what I was trying to say in this episode. I got a little bit sidetracked on certain issues. But I do believe that vegan teacher is a positive influence, mostly in the world, and hopefully she's not intending to say anything racist or transphobic, but only when people are doing good work typically do they even get this level of criticism. And a lot of people have criticized that vegan teacher, and honestly, I think people should leave her alone. I wish people would quit pestering her with tons and tons of comments with false accusations of racism and transphobia. You know, she has explained in her interview with David Ram that those things are not true. She explained. So listen to the interview with her. Listen to her own content. Decide for yourself. Don't just believe that she's racist or transphobic because somebody else said that. Yeah, oh, interesting. We have more comments. Oh, guys, this is getting interesting. I was going to bring this to a close, but we have some nice comments here. Okay. So unless somebody does or says something to offend me, I rarely even use the word asshole. I don't like using hateful language, and most certainly will not use it against transgender people. In fact, the last person I got upset with wasn't even trans, but was a carnist who tried to justify animal abuse instead of solving it. Yes. And then we have, okay, this is getting interesting, guys. Okay, so we have this person, Porter92. Personally, I think transphobia can't exist. And the next comment is because trans don't exist. Interesting. Maybe if you're still there, what you can say what you mean. If you mean that transgender people don't exist, well, I disagree. Obviously, they do. There's people who experience gender dysphoria and take various social or medical steps to change their body and their appearance. So let's see here. Some of the good comments. You're leaving me some nice comments. The N-word has been taken back by POC, just like queer has been taken back by LGBTQ people. But it's not okay for whites to use it or for cisgender heteros to use. Yeah, interesting. I don't know what POC means. Because these words were once used by bigots as derogatory slurs. Oh, and we have Happy Easter. Yes, it is Easter. This is a nice name. Walnut and Walnut report a sorta regularly. Weird. Yeah. Or spring. Yeah. Because it is spring now, and today happens to be Easter Sunday. And while most people are doing things with their family, how they have Easter traditions and stuff they do, and they have church services. Since I don't church and my only family is my mom, and I already talked to my mom today, you know, this is how I prefer to spend Easter, doing a live stream talking about vegan activism and transgender issues and the criticism against of that vegan teacher. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, his default photo is Hitler. I don't think this person is going to be very tolerant or accepting of trans people. Yes, you probably have a point. Yeah, like what is that anyway? Yeah, this person. Yeah, they have an image of Adolf Hitler there, or somebody dressed up to look like Adolf Hitler. So I don't know how Hitler ended up watching my live stream. I'm not sure how that happened, but I find this very interesting. A lot of good comments, people. Let's see. I might keep this going till about an hour. So is there anything else I want to say? Well, yes, I definitely do want to talk to that vegan teacher myself. I want to do a StreamYard session with her directly myself, if possible. It'll depend on scheduling. Maybe on another Saturday night or a Sunday. That's what I'm hoping, because I'd like to talk to her. A lot of people like to talk to her. So some people criticize her. So I'm just gonna share her content more. You don't get me to stop sharing her content just by accusing her of racism or transphobia. Actually, and yes, I have read your post about the origins of Easter yet. In fact, I think it's the same one that you share every year. If you guys don't know, Boffo has an excellent post on Facebook about the origins of Easter. So maybe I can put that link to that in the description later or something like that. But yeah, Easter is very interesting. And you know, my own thoughts on Easter as somebody who grew up in Christianity is that Easter is supposed to the Christians it's the celebration of Jesus' resurrection. Well, it's a little awkward because I don't necessarily believe that Jesus rose from the dead. I don't know what to believe about Jesus because I have more important things to think about. To some people, they really think it matters whether or not Jesus died on the cross or whether he resurrected. But personally, I think that, he says he's updated and expanded it. Yeah, then I'll probably have to read it again to make sure that I read the whole thing. Let's see here. Yeah, if you ask my opinion, I wish the N-word were erased from vocabulary. Yes, it isn't the same when black people use it, but just existing in the human language means white people will find out what it means and use it to insult black people and dehumanize them. Yeah. Yeah, I think some words might be better erased from the vocabulary. Now, I don't think that words should be illegal or banned. Like, I don't think you should go to jail because you use the N-word or the C word or whatever. I don't think anybody should go to jail for what words that they use. I also don't think that you should go to jail because you misgendered somebody. You know what I mean? I believe in freedom of speech, basically, but I just think we need to carefully consider our words and how they're being perceived based on the context of who we're speaking to, obviously. That's kind of my opinion. But anyway, what I was saying, though, is that I think a lot of Christians who believe in Jesus are actually insulting Jesus. The reason, if Jesus, okay, well, hear me out. I know this sounds weird, okay, but hear me out. If Jesus is real, if Jesus really is the Son of God and died and resurrected and all that stuff, then Jesus is out there somewhere really pissed off at the Christians right now because I can hear him now like Jesus is like, guys, you got it wrong. It wasn't about my death and resurrection. It was about what I actually taught. Like I feel like the way they dismiss the teachings of Jesus, and then just focus all about the fact that he died supposedly as a penalty for our sins and then rose on the third day. Like I know what Christians teach. I grew up, I heard that all my life, but I always felt like there were a few good things of the teachings of Jesus, and I read the book of Matthew several times. There's also a lot of stuff in the Bible that Jesus supposedly said or did that's written in there that's really screwed up, like cursing the fig tree and letting the demons enter the pigs and running them off a cliff and weird stuff like that. Now, it's strange because Jesus is one of those mythological characters in that we have what people have written about Jesus supposedly in the Bible and maybe some other sources as well. I'm not a historian, okay, but I do think that the past will never fully be known, okay? We'll never fully know the past about anyone. I mean, we don't even know the whole truth about anyone even living today. To really know somebody, you have to be alive at the same time. You have to interact with that person directly. And so that's the thing is, but I feel like people are placing too much importance on history of the past. So regardless of what historical person said what, you can take some of what they said, apply it to your life, and you may have to discard some of it. So there's some stuff Jesus said, including the golden rule, which, do unto others as you would have to done to you. And the golden rule is not unique to Jesus or the Bible. It's in other religions. Many religions have the golden rule. And the golden rule is like the foundational principle upon which veganism is based for me personally. I feel like I don't do to those animals what I wouldn't want done to me. It's that simple. Veganism is the golden rule. It's that simple. And what I like about the golden rule is that it doesn't require, it it doesn't require you to be emotionally involved with others. It doesn't even require a great deal of empathy. It's just that I understand I don't like to be killed or hurt without my consent, and so I don't want to do it to others, Let's see here. Easter Sunday is a wonderful day to celebrate the return of spring, since that was the original basis for the celebration in pagan mythology. The rebirth of life on a biological level, and the return of human beings to their divine natures when they surrender their egos and die to themselves and awaken spiritually to their true identity as expressions of that is beautiful. Yeah. This is turning out to be a very weird live stream because now we're talking about the origins of Easter and all that, because it happens to be Easter, but it just so happened that I also received those comments from that person about that vegan teacher. So if anybody can provide me actual proof that vegan teacher is really racist or transphobic, I'd like to see that, because I haven't seen it yet, and those screenshots didn't convince me. But it still doesn't matter, because whether it's Jesus or whether it's that vegan teacher, listen to the good stuff they said and see if it applies to your life. You can follow the golden rule even if Jesus never actually existed. And you can be vegan even if you happen to find out about veganism from that vegan teacher. Even if she was racist or transphobic, that doesn't mean that she's wrong about veganism. But in my opinion, vegans are the least racist, the least homophobic, the least transphobic of anybody I've met. Because what it comes down to is, if you respect other animals and you don't kill them, who look vastly different than you as a human, then how can you be cruel to somebody for being of a different gender or skin color or different sexual orientation? You know what I mean? Seriously. And I'm sure there are people that who are going to call me racist. In fact, some people already have. I'm not sure why. There are probably people who are going to call me anti-gay or transphobic. And if anything, it's more like the opposite. I'm actually heterophobic. Like, this is confession, people. I'm heterophobic. And what I mean by that is I am literally afraid of straight people. Now, keep in mind that when people call somebody transphobic or homophobic, that they are using it to mean that people hate people, and that's not what it means. Phobia is a fear, like arachnophobia, fear of spiders. So phobia is a fear, and I don't hate anybody of any sexual orientation, but I do fear them. I fear straight people. I fear straight people because they have sex and they procreate, and then it results either in abortion or it results in those humans living their lives, and then they unfortunately most of the time become carnists to hurt animals. So I am literally afraid of straight people. So if you say that I'm heterophobic, I have just admitted it. I am definitely heterophobic, and I do not hide that fact. Okay. I'm not homophobic because I'm not afraid of gay people, because they don't reproduce with what they do. So anyway, enough said about sexual orientation. Let me respond to some comments. Okay. Yes. The golden rule, aka the law of reciprocity, is the basis for almost all moral behavior, and really just one of the first fundamental elements of pantheism. Yes, we are all the same, and what you do to others, you literally do to yourself. Yes, I totally get that message. With pantheism, understanding that we are all part of the universe, God, omnia, forever, all, whatever you feel like calling it. Let's see here. Phobia is definitely the right word, Chess, because the scenarios you outlined are not the only outcomes of heterosexuality. Yes, I know those aren't the only outcomes, but I'm sure you're well aware, Paul, that a lot of the times that is what happens, because the whole idea of so-called unwanted pregnancy, or or whatever accidental pregnancies they're called, comes as a result of the fact that people who are capable of procreation biologically are having sex for the pleasure of sex. They're having sex because it's fun and it feels good to them, but they're not intending to procreate, and they accidentally do procreate. So of course, we've talked about this before, so you know how I feel about that. And so obviously, people can get, their tubes tied, they can get vasectomies and stuff like that. And then other people like me don't have testicles anymore, So I couldn't have sex now even if I wanted to, but I don't. That's why I named myself Chastity White Rose, because I have vowed celibacy for life. So, but you people who follow me know that already. But I'm just covering everything. Like I basically covered like almost every subject under the sun, in one live stream. Talked about that being teacher, talked about certain words and language, talked about Easter and Jesus. Man, what have I not talked about so far? Oh yeah, and I've been talking about sexual orientation, transgender stuff, gender identity. Like I've talked about a lot of topics, and it hasn't even been an hour since this live stream began, and I've already talked about everything. Like seriously. So I'm thinking of going for another 8 or 9 minutes. So is there anything that I didn't cover? Like, is there any questions that anybody has to comment they'd like to ask me that I can respond to before I end this live stream? There's definitely a lot of good comments here, and I don't know if I've seen them all. Also, I am getting comments from multiple sources. So I have comments from Facebook and YouTube, and even Twitch. That person with the Hitler picture that commented earlier about trans people not existing was from Twitch. It turns out I actually have a Twitch account. Can you believe it? Now, I created a Twitch account years ago when I first started playing Minecraft. And I had forgotten my password. I had to reset my password, but my account still existed, so I had to be emailed a link to reset my password, basically. But I got access to my Twitch account, so I can now stream to Twitch. Now, I don't understand Twitch. I do not understand Twitch. I know that you can watch live streams, usually of video gamers. And also, I like video gaming. I like playing video games, but I also like playing chess, which of course I did my chess live stream. I may do more chess live streams in the future because it's fun to watch me lose at chess, isn't it? I'll probably improve as I practice more. Let's see. Yes, one last thing I want to mention before you reply is, yes, I agree with you. Phobia refers to fear. It's bad terminology when it is used to describe bigotry, because bigotry is about hate and prejudice, not fear. It's a bit like the R word used to describe disabled people. Disabled people are not necessarily less intelligent, and even ones who do have an intellectual disability, they still deserve compassion and protection from people. Nobody chooses how their brain is wired. Exactly, Jamie. Exactly. Oh, and speaking of the R word, now I know the R word is retarded. Now, here's a funny story. This is the funniest story, because my mom is a music teacher, okay? My mom is a music teacher, and there is a word because it's all like Italian, like the music term and stuff. There's a word called ritardando, and it means slow. And when you call someone retarded, you're calling them slow. But people, when she uses the word retardando, her students think she's calling her retarded. That's not what she's doing. It's a means to play slow. It's a musical term, people. Don't get offended over Italian musical terms. Like, it just goes to show you can't even be a music teacher without somebody accusing you of something. But these are kids. What do they know? Most of those people she teaches her kids, although she teaches adults too. Not since the COVID pandemic, though. She's sad. But anyway, enough about my mom and her music business. But she is a music teacher. She knows her stuff. She's been teaching for over 40 years. Let's see here. Okay. We have walnut here. Why are we here? Is the first question that nobody seems to have a validated reason for it. It perceives everything. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm here because my heterosexual parents apparently had sex. That's why I'm here. So, and then Apopho says, "I can give you my answer. The answer according to the Bible. It's for God, the universe, nature, omnia to experience novelty, to learn and grow, to experience everything that the universe is currently experiencing through us." Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That's because retard means to delay or hold back in terms of progress, development, or accomplishment. Okay, yeah. Oh, and I can totally call myself retarded. I can totally do that because there are some areas in which I'm very slow. There are some things I'm not good at, and I'm very slow at. But that it doesn't retarded doesn't mean stupid. That's not what it means. Um, and there, because of my autism and because of the way I have a hard time understanding what humans say sometimes, people wonder like, how can you not get it? I've been called retarded before. Like seriously, there are so many things I don't understand. So if you wanted to, you could call me sexually retarded because I definitely don't understand sexuality. So that's one area. But yeah, man, good comments, people. Like seriously, this is nice comments. Like I think I said everything I needed to say, but now you guys are starting new topics. This is getting interesting, and I hope that nobody minds the way I click the comments and put them on the screen. But I like to do that. I like to let people see the comments that people are leaving me, because if I don't share the comment and then I read the comment wrong, then people won't know what the person actually said, because I might read it wrong. Because I'm terribly reading challenged. I'm like reading retarded. Like seriously. Like I skip lines when I read. Like, and then it's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like oh man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But there's a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, it's a cool interface. I just got to make sure I spell check everything before I click enter. Yeah, I love the comment, people. This is nice. See, I actually, I actually did pay for a year membership, um, of like a premium plan on StreamYard, and I did this because the basic plan only lets you stream to one source at a time, but when you upgrade to a higher plan, then you get to stream to multiple platforms at once. And that's why I use StreamYard, because people are able to listen to me live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now, for example. I can stream up to 3 platforms at one time on the plan I'm on. And I paid about $200 for a whole year of membership of my current plan. And you might wonder, well, why did I spend that kind of money on StreamYard? And that's because podcasts are important to me. Being able to record these videos, get the information out there, that's really important to me. Now, I'm very sad because censorship is happening a lot, and I highly suspect that this video may end up being deleted from certain platforms, because they're like, oh no, you used the N word, you used the C word, oh, you said the word retarded, therefore your video is bad and we're going to delete it. It goes against our community standards, and it's like, if this video is deleted because certain words were used, then they obviously didn't listen to the content and the context of what I was saying. The point is, these words have meanings, and some words probably should not be used. And if so, only in the right context. Like, I get it, but I still don't like the censorship that people are being punished and having their content deleted. just because they say certain words or because they're falsely accused of being racist, that sort of thing. Let's see. Is there anything? Am I missing any comments? Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah, yes. Lots of people are sexual without reproducing. Yeah. Yeah, and that's great for them. Like if you have a way of being sexual without reproducing, then no harm is done. Except, I mean, you might still get sexually transmitted diseases, but that's something you consent to when you do that. So my concern is primarily just about the procreation because it often turns ugly. That's my primary concern. And personally, one of the biggest reasons that I am so pro-gay and pro-trans is because these people, just by the nature of the desires they already have, are the least likely to reproduce. They're the least likely. Sure, they can. And there are times when gay couples specifically will do something like they'll get there's things how that works. How lesbians, for example, want to do a child, so they'll get sperm from a sperm donor and still procreate. So there's things where gay people procreate too, but it's usually something they want to do rather than some accident that happens, like a byproduct, like it is with straight people or something like that. That's all I'm saying. So there's a difference in the intention of something as opposed to it happening accidentally. So there is a difference. Let's see here. Yep, that's how censorship works. They just use bots to monitor and delete content without a human using discernment and discretion. That seems to be the problem. I think it's all robots. I think it's all computer software that's deleting content. Like, I don't even think that that humans who have deleted my videos before on YouTube, for example, I don't think a human actually ever listened. I think it's just a robot. I think it does that, and I know the software exists in order to do that. But we're living in scary times. Like, we really are living in scary times. I know people probably won't believe me, and I know that this video probably will be deleted. But those of you who are watching me live right now, at least have the chance to listen to what I say before it's deleted. So that's what's great about live streaming. That's part of why I like live streaming. So at least those of you who care enough about what I say, who are watching me live right now, you get to know what I said, even if nobody else does. But we're living in a time that's very Orwellian, if you know what I'm saying. We're living in a time where everything is being controlled and censored. Only certain words are allowed, only certain opinions are allowed, and there's just and look, a lot of people who even listen to this may disagree with me on this. They may not like it, but pro-life people are being censored, who pro-life about abortion. Vegans are being censored and having their content deleted too by the harness powers that be in some cases. And also people who don't like vaccines or who simply want the right to choose who has a vaccine or not are also being censored and labeled anti-vaxxers and being labeled conspiracy theorists. So there's a lot of people who are just being censored. They're not allowed to express their opinion, but the people sharing the opposite opinion of them are allowed to stay online and spread their stuff. So it's the whole thing's one-sided. Social media and the internet has screwed everything up. And now with this whole pandemic, we're told, oh, you can't be within 6 feet of anybody. You can't hang out with your friends anymore. So you have to do everything over Skype and Zoom and do everything online and social distance. And now the reason that the government's doing this to us, in my opinion, is not to protect us from a disease known as COVID-19. That's not why I think they're doing that. The reason the government's doing this to us is because if all interaction that we have is online, then it can be more easily recorded and monitored so that as soon as someone says something that the government doesn't like, well, then the government can go shoot that person dead. So that's what I believe, is that the government will sooner or later come and kill me because they don't like my opinions. That's the kind of world that we are living in, that I happen to believe. And if you haven't read 1984 by George Orwell. If you haven't seen movies like Songbird or Enemy of the State, or V for Vendetta, you need to see some of these movies while you still have a chance, because it's just an example of what happens when government goes wild and people's basic freedoms to say what they want, to eat what they want, to spend time with who they want is taken away. And that's what we are having happen right now in this world. And supposedly it's to protect us from COVID-19, but people still need to exercise their own judgment. When this whole pandemic started, here's what happened: is my mom, at first she told me not to come visit, because my mom was worried that she might get COVID-19, like I might be near it from somebody at work, and then she might get it, and then she might die because she has a poor immune system. So that's the thing, and my mom was concerned about COVID-19 at the start, and so she told me not to come for a few weeks, actually. But then after a while, that changed, you see, because we started realizing this pandemic was never going to end. And then my mom decided, you know what, she has to have her baby visit her. Now, I'm my mom's baby. That's the thing. I'll always be her baby, no matter how old I am. She has to have me. I'm her only child in the area, and I seem to be her only friend a lot of the time. And so she wants me to visit her, and it's worth the risk. And besides that, if I am sick, I don't visit my mom anyway. But I'm very rarely sick anyway. But that's the point: is the friends and family members need to decide between themselves whether it's worth the risk of getting a disease from someone. If you want someone to visit you so bad, you want to spend time with someone so bad that you are okay with the fact that you might get a disease and die, then so be it. People still need their freedom to choose, balance the value of their own life, even if there is a real pandemic. That's what I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about that topic. Let's see here. So somebody asked, Walnut asked, do you have a pet? And then Papa was like, vegans don't own animals or call them pets. We care for companion animals, domestic animals who are rescued, or strays who already exist, that we've adopted and choose to care for. Well said. But I don't think there's anything wrong if you do have a dog or a cat or what other animal that you take care of. I don't think there's anything wrong with calling them a pet, because that's what people will understand what that means. So you can call them companion animals or domestic animals or rescue or stray, or you can call them pet. As long as people know what you mean, that's all that really matters. Now, I did have a hamster once, though, many years ago. I was like, 11, 12 years old, and I had a hamster. It was a hamster. She was already 2 years old when I got her. She was given to me by a neighbor who was moving. Gave me this hamster, and I named the hamster Smamster. So it was Smamster the hamster. I don't know why Smamster the hamster, but yes, that was the name of my very first and very last pet, if you can call it a pet. That hamster lived for maybe a year after that, and then she died. And I was very, very sad when that hamster died, because it was a nice friend. It was a she, but I prefer gender neutral language, so I prefer it over she, because I didn't see any genitals on that hamster. All I saw was fur. Let's see here, but yeah, thanks for the explanation, Papa. Let's see here. Wouldn't it surprise me if bots were auto deleting content? It's cheaper for companies to get AI to do something for them than it is to hire a human moderation team to filter out content that's on the platform. This would explain why a lot of videos or comments that still promote misinformation can get people, that misinformation that can get people killed never get deleted. Yeah, there's a lot of hateful content out there that is not good, and yet it stays on, But it's not people doing it, it's robots. But we don't support breeders or the breeding of cats and dogs or any animal unless it's part of a conservation effort to save their species from extinction, etc. Okay, yeah. So Papa was simply answering Walnut's questions. That's nice. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, interesting stuff. Wait a minute. Oh, wow. Buffalo, sorry, I had 2 hamsters. In 2 months, I had 50. Oh, man. Yeah, and then, yeah. Holy hamster feeding Buffalo. Yeah, I can see why you are concerned. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I guess hamsters breed pretty fast. Luckily, I didn't have a problem. I only had a female hamster, and there was no other hamster involved. I'm very glad of that. Let's see here. Yeah, wow, this is interesting, man. We've talked about everything. We talked about Katie Karen, that vegan teacher. We talked about Jesus and Easter. Talked about certain words and language. We talked about censorship. Talked about the COVID-19 pandemic. Talked about hamsters. Talked about why vegans don't own pets. Man, we've talked about everything. This is a good live stream. Like seriously, guys. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, we have 6 people watching right now, and we have 2 likes so far. So I kind of feel like I want to just keep it going because we were having such a good talk. Like seriously. Yeah, before I figured out that you need to separate the M's and F's. Yeah, yeah. And this is a difficult thing. This is a really difficult thing here because here's my own thing about it. Now, I'm anti-natalist in the sense that I think we should generally not procreate, and that applies to humans or other animals. So yeah, like I think it's a good idea to keep male and female animals apart so they don't procreate because you end up having a problem. And like, oh, here's another topic. Okay, so we've talked about everything else in this live stream. There is one more topic I'd like to talk about. It is the idea of spaying and neutering pets, for example, or well, I'll call them pets just for the sake of example. People know what I'm talking about, but technically nobody owns a pet. Nobody owns a pet. But anyway, see, the reason, there are 2 main reasons that people get their cats and dogs and other animals spayed or neutered. And neutering is removing the testicles, same as what was done to me. And spayed is where they remove the ovaries from the female, so no eggs, no reproduction. They might even do a whole hysterectomy and remove the uterus. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but if you remove the testicles or the ovaries from some animal, there's 2 things. First of all, they can't get testicle or ovarian cancer. So it's reported that those animals live longer because there's certain types of cancers they can't get once those parts are removed. And if you don't know, testosterone unfortunately can feed cancer. And that's why sometimes men who have various types of cancer have their testicles removed to reduce the testosterone, just to help them live. But the main reason that they do this is so that the animals won't procreate. And this is an important thing to consider because if they don't spay and neuter their pets, then there is a chance that they'll be out at a dog park, for example, and then their female dog will have sex with a male dog, and then they'll find out their female dog is pregnant and have all these puppies. So then what do? What do they do with all these puppies then? Then they either have to find other people to take those puppies in and send them to separate homes, which is traumatic to the mother dog because then that dog wonders where her babies went. So she's emotionally traumatized by that. Or they keep them all together, but it's very difficult to take care of lots and lots of dogs. Or the worst case scenario, they end up going to the pound. They end up as straight, and who knows what happened. So you really, funniest comment for someone who's asexual, you talk more about sex than anyone I know. and there's a reason for that, Papa. There is a reason for this, because you understand, right? The only reason sex is an issue worth talking about is because of the whole procreation issue. Because of what I'm talking about, because of the heterosexual procreation issue. If like procreation never happened, like let's just say, for the sake of example, that everybody was completely sterilized, then everybody could just have sex with whoever they want. Even straight people could, like the gay people currently can. And then there would be no risk of procreation. Therefore, abortion would end. But then you wouldn't have to figure out all these debates about how to raise children and what school they go to and all these things. And then there's the environmental concerns, and all sorts of things. So if there was no procreation, then sex wouldn't be worth talking about, except for the fact that for many people it's still a very important issue. And yes, also, Papa, I see your comment about the giant hamster balls. I see that. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know, man. I've lost it, man. I've talked about everything in this live stream. I didn't even intend to go on this long, but I was having so much fun with you guys and your comments. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'll go a little bit longer in case you people have any more comments for me, because this is getting pretty exciting. This is funny. What else can I talk about? Oh yeah, I was talking about these animals being spayed or neutered. Now, here's the thing: is I have mixed feelings on this topic. Okay, because on the one hand, animals not being able to procreate and then having to figure out what to do with all the animals that come as a result, that were born as a result of that, it's good to not let the animals procreate. But I also don't like the fact that these animals can't consent to these surgeries. It bothers me. Like, I don't like anything being done to anyone without consent. For example, I don't like circumcision. Circumcision of baby boys, how, like, circumcision is like it's an old Jewish custom. It's an old Jewish religion custom, and I think some other religions as well, where boys are born with like this foreskin on their penis, and apparently it has a lot of nerves, and then they for some reason they cut the foreskin off of baby boys. Now, this is an old tradition, but here's the thing: is I don't like circumcision being done to these baby boys because they can't consent to it. Now, I was circumcised when I was a baby. I don't remember it, so there's no great harm with it, at least in some cases. But there have been cases where babies have had problems with infection and bleeding and died after circumcision. And because it's not medically necessary to circumcise and remove the foreskin, it shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening. Like, I feel like that circumcision should be an elective surgery. Let's say that when you're an adult, if you really don't want your foreskin on your penis, you should just be able to, as an adult, elect to have a surgery to have the foreskin removed then. And there's not a problem, because we live in modern times with painkillers. You know what I'm saying? So a person could just have a shot to completely numb their penis when the foreskin is removed through surgery. If that's what they want as an adult, and they are choosing and they're consenting and signing that they want that done. Most people probably won't want that done anyway, but it shouldn't be done to baby boys who can't understand or agree to it. So people who are against infant circumcision call themselves intactivists, because they believe in leaving things intact. And I believe that topic was even mentioned on that interview with that vegan teacher, David Rand. So I happen to agree with her on that. But yeah, circumcision isn't really necessary, and it doesn't make a difference to most people, I don't think, whether that foreskin is there or not. So I just don't think it's a good idea. I think it comes with risks, and it's unnecessary. Interesting. Yeah. Papa said his old stepdad chose to get circumcised as an adult. Yeah, I mean, people can do that. See, here, and I'm no expert on this tradition, but it was a thing supposedly in the Old Testament, that supposedly God told Abraham to circumcise the male boys and cut off the foreskins. It was some way of um, them being known as a people, as the Jews, whatever. It's weird. But yeah, like, it's very, very strange. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, now I've talked about everything. I even talked about infant circumcision. Yeah. I guess I got nothing else to say, I think. Oh, holy hell, man. What in the world? Rabbis sucking the foreskin off their mouths and giving kids herpes? Why would somebody suck the foreskin off of a baby boy's penis with their mouth? Oh man. Oh man. He says Google it. Oh man, that's oh man, this world is too much for me, people. Like I don't wanna live in a world where people are sucking on baby boys' penises. I don't want to live in this kind of world, people. Make it stop. This is too much for me. Ugh. Oh man. It's bad enough when it's done surgically in a relatively safe way, but to just yeah. Sorry to say, Jen, just another fucked up consequence of wrong in religion. I have to agree, Papa. That is really sad, though. Like, that one I didn't know about. But that's definitely a way to spread infection, trying to do that kind of thing. Like, oh, man. People do some sick things. Oh, man, that is so sad. I learned something new every day thanks to you, Papa. Oh, man, it's just too much. Yeah, maybe I should have this live stream before it gets any worse, man. This is too much to take. It is a very nice day today, so I was thinking of going on another walk. And yet I don't want to end this live stream if people are having so much fun commenting here either. But yeah, I mean, I do have other things I need to get done. So here's an idea, people, okay? So, you guys know how to contact me. I'm not too hard to contact. So if there's any topics you would like me to talk about, or would you like to come on with me in a future live stream? Like seriously, anybody, if we're available at the same time, anybody, I can invite people to video chat with me directly on StreamYard, so we can do podcasts together. And also, for those of you who don't know, Pafro and I actually did a podcast on sexuality like about a month ago or so. I think it was. And it was pretty good. Let's see here. In the intertestamental period, there were a lot of Hellenized Jews who were doing reverse circumcisions to fit in with the Romans. How do you reverse a circumcision? Like, look, no, man, don't answer that. I don't even want to know. Oh man. Oh crap, he answered already. Oh no, I have learned too much. No. Oh man. Okay, yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm definitely willing to do podcasts with people on any topic, especially that vegan teacher, if she'd like to do a podcast with me. I'm usually available Saturday nights after I come home from my mom's place, and then usually Sunday when I do my live streams anyway. So I probably will be doing a live stream every Sunday is kind of the plan. Got to make use of my StreamYard membership. Yeah. So anyway, I guess this is, but we do have some comments with it. Read the book of Maccabees and other Apocrypha. Yes, there were books that did not make it into the canon of the Bible, but some things in them may be true or false. You just never know. It's interesting stuff, but I did read part of Maccabees, I think. long time ago. So I guess that's it for now, guys. I should end this before I learn some other horrifying fact. I've learned too much for one day. But thanks everybody for watching and listening and commenting. It means a lot to have some interaction. This is my entire social life right here, doing live streams and responding to comments, it seems. Yeah, happy spring to you too, Pompo. I see that. Goodbye, everybody.